this is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and today we're going to look at the Nokia Lumia 928 available on Verizon. Finally, we get the flagship Nokia phone running Windows OS on Verizon. This is a lovely phone with a 4.5-inch display, dual-core CPU, very good camera, and we're going to look at it now. So this is the Nokia Lumia 928, available now on Verizon Wireless, $99 with contract. Very close relative to the Nokia Lumia 920 that had been exclusive on AT&T, right down to the $99 price point, in fact, with contract. Same 4.5-inch display, but there are a couple of differences here. This guy is an AMOLED display versus the IPS display that was on the Lumia 920. Now, I actually like AMOLED pretty well. Some people might say, oh, you can see that pentile matrix, but high enough resolution, certainly high enough PPI, like 334, that I'm not complaining about that. And you get very nice vivid colors, but not as kind of tinted and hyper looking as on Super AMOLED, go figure. Super AMOLED is actually a little bit newer. So it's a very nice looking display, and it often looks a little bit brighter. In fact, AMOLED displays are not always so viewable outdoors. This guy is, and in fact, just like on the Lumia 920, we have settings so you can actually set outdoor visibility on this, and also screen sensitivity. So let's take a look at that right now so you can see that. So here we are in settings. You can see we have our sunlight readability mode, which we have turned on, and yes, it's really effective. I was taking photos outside in bright sunlight and having no trouble seeing the display and the color saturation of what I was aiming at, too. It was pretty good. And then we have battery saver options, and if we switch over to touch, you can see touch sensitivity option here, just like on the Lumia 920, so you can wear gloves, or if you're like me and you play guitar and you have calluses on your fingers, it's still going to respond. So you can choose normal or high. We're going to leave it at high right there. So pretty neat feature there for the Lumia. Otherwise, you're looking at the same internal specs as other Windows phones currently on the market. That's a 1.5 gigahertz Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 Plus CPU, dual-core CPU with a gig of RAM, and this has 32 gigs of internal storage with about 23.75 available for your use. So a pretty reasonable amount of storage. There is no micro SD card slot on this, so the internal storage is all that you have to work with. Phone has dual band Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 3.0, the usual GPS, and you get Nokia maps on here preloaded. In fact, a bunch of Nokia stuff. They do the best navigation stuff for Windows Phone, and it used to be exclusive just to Nokia, but now you can get downloaded actually for other Windows phones. But you got Nokia Drive Plus beta over here, Nokia Here maps, they have augmented reality stuff going on. So pretty nice, and that gets you spoken turn-by-turn directions as well. See, we have capacitive front buttons right here. This is a 1280 by 768 resolution display. Again, that's pretty standard for higher-end Windows phones currently on the market. And if you look from the side, you can see how they changed the design from the Lumia 920. Straighten off the sides quite a bit right here. And I like it. It gives a little bit of a modern look. Still polycarbonate, glossy finish right here. Nice, unique, kind of classy looking, even though it's polycarbonate. And on the end here, flattened out. Now that's not so unusual. If you take a look at our Lumia 920 right here, this guy was flat as well. But you can see the curve, okay? Now, you think that this guy is a lot thicker right here, the Lumia 920. It actually isn't so much, but what they've done is they've put a taper on the back, you see? So it makes this look thinner instead of bringing this curve all the way out to the edge. So as we look around, you can see it does still get thicker in the middle here, and the difference in thickness is not so huge. If you lay them flat on the table, you'll see that, but psychologically, it makes you feel like you got a lot thinner phone. On this side, the button layout is unchanged from the Lumia 920. We have our volume rocker right here. This is the power button, and this is the dedicated camera button. No more contrasting, ceramic-covered, metallic-looking nice buttons over here, and these don't stick up quite as much. I actually like the 920s a little better, but these are okay. They're not bad. We've got the headphone jack up top now. That's our micro SIM card slot, and we have the micro USB up top now too. And on the back we have the same lovely 8.7 megapixel Nokia PureView camera, and they've switched over to a xenon flash plus a little LED flash here. Why does it have both? It uses the xenon for actually taking photos when you need the flash to be on, and the LED flash is just for assisting in focusing for illumination so it can see. And there's your speaker grill right there. So you can see, obviously, it's a Verizon phone. It has 4G LTE, it has their EVDO Rev-A 3G, and this is also a world roaming phone, so it has HSPA plus 3G, and it's quad-band GSM. So the Lumia 928 is available in your choice of, well, black or white. Obviously we have the white one here, glossy. That's one thing that we missed from the other Lumia 900 series phones is those nifty colors that came in. All sorts of crazy playful colors, a couple of staid colors sometimes. Your choices are just black and white here. And here we have our front view comparison with the Lumia 920, this guy being the Lumia 928, and well, you're looking at pretty much the same thing, aren't you there? The differences are the glass is curved a little bit more over here, slightly different front design. Again, a little bit more modern here. I kind of like it. The interesting thing is, head-on, these displays look fairly similar, considering they're different technologies with the AMOLED here and the IPS, but as we turn this sideways, the viewing angles actually deteriorate quicker on the IPS display. That's really interesting, isn't it? This has really awesome viewing angles, this Verizon phone. Love that a lot. In terms of software, you're looking at pretty much the same thing on any Windows phone. It's fairly standardized, and Microsoft has done a little bit what Apple has done to say don't junk up the phone too much with bloatware. So it's fairly clean. So you've got your usual dialer over here, your Internet Explorer, mobile, your text messaging, your access to the Windows phone store to get your software, the Games Hub, which is pretty cool stuff. Again, Nokia Music is on here, and we'll take a quick look at that. Now, when you jump in here, you can see that I was just playing David Bowie recently. If I do that, it's going to jump into the standard Microsoft player. But if I go back to the view that we start out with right here, you can see that we can look for gigs around, we can create a mix, and we've got mix radio here. And this is pretty neat here. You can create your own free streaming music playlist. Nice, free. I'll take it. A couple of preloaded apps here are the Weather Channel and CNN. Probably most people are going to find that pretty useful. Standard music and video players for Microsoft, the photo application. You get the idea. And if you want to get quick here, swipe to the side, you can see all the apps that are installed. You can get to settings, and then we've got NFL Mobile on here. By the way, if you don't like something that the carrier has put on here, you can actually remove it, which is pretty cool. Panorama for the camera. Of course, you can use lenses. There's a lot of lenses for Lumia's, which is pretty neat. And let's take a look at some pictures that we've shot, as a matter of fact, with the camera. That's a real centerpiece for this phone because it has an excellent pure view camera, as Nokia calls it. Does quite well in low light. I'm impressed with this. Now, the Xenon flash versus the LED flash, I'm not seeing a whole lot of difference in brightness. This was actually taken in a fairly dark room. It turned the flash on. Now, it makes things a little bit more yellow than the LED flash did, and that's probably just a matter of tweaking the software and the firmware. We could get an update that would remove some of the yellow. Everything else actually looks pretty nice, but see how luminous and bright everything is for something that was taken in a fairly dark room, and there's a lot of detail here. Nice floppy desk, and there's our Lumia 920 Coke Zero can. You can actually see that pretty detailed. It's not bad at all. And here we have a photo taken of a kitty, and now this is through some plexiglass right here, so that's why you're seeing some reflections, but it's a fairly fast camera, so I can actually capture something like a cat reaching out quickly to grab something, which is neat. Or sniff through the holes. Or just say hello to us. Outdoor pictures, handles light balance well, fairly reflective surface here, and the silver on the car looking very nice. Fairly color accurate. Lots of sharp detail there. We can actually see the detail on the lens cover right there. The ridges and the rim of the tire. So really, it's a very nice camera. And something else that's really cool about this is it has optical image stabilization. That's not just software trying to stop things from jittering around. It's actually physical hardware in the camera. So what happens there is you get very smooth video. And there's a nice outdoor picture. You can see no whiteout, even though there's a lot of bright surfaces there. Captures good colors. Focus is slightly soft in this. That's how Nokia tends to do things. You can post-process and make this sharper if you want. It's better than having digital noise introduced. That's awful hard to remove when something over-sharpens. Testing to see if it blooms on the reds. That's been a trouble for Nokia's camera phones, and in general for digital cameras, and it's handling it better than it ever has. It's maintaining an awful lot of detail. If you look at those petals right there, that's very good stuff. It's really nice camera. And to see stabilization and option, I was walking around. I am not a smooth walker. And you can see how non-jittery this is.
Here we are shooting some video. Thank goodness the weather has much improved.
that stabilization. So that's pretty good, and that's 1080p video recording also. So that's the camera on this. Definitely still a real selling point, and still competitive with the top camera phones on the market, even the new Galaxy S4, certainly the HTC One, which has its ultra-pixel camera, which is very good at low light, but won't capture as much detail in terms of resolution as this guy, and also competes well with the iPhone 5. And we have the standard Windows Phone big screen dialer right here. You also have access to your contacts directly from within the full dialing interface, your call history, all that kind of stuff. And call quality has been really excellent with this. Nokia does a great job, generally speaking, with call quality, and this is one of the best sounding phones we've ever heard on Verizon. Rich, full, very, very clear, and quite a good volume on this too, a little better than average for volume. So for those of you who are a little hard of hearing or tend to use your phone in noisy places, keep that in mind. Now the speakerphone on the back, it's not bad. It's more like average though. It's a little mono speaker right there, and it gets the job done, but nothing super awesome. Certainly not going to fight with something like the HTC One again with its big stereo speakers. In terms of data speeds, we have Ookla's speedtest.net application on here. You can see some of the speeds that we've gotten as soon as we launch that up. And one odd bounce there for our data settings. These were done pretty close together. Just sometimes those kind of things happen. But overall, you can see really rocking data speeds on this device. Certainly as good as the top Android phones and the iPhone there. Quite impressed with it, quite pleased. Experientially, loads fast. Web pages load quickly. Here's our front page right here. We'll zoom it out a little bit, scroll around. And we'll check out a review of the LG Optimus G Pro. And Internet Explorer Mobile has improved a lot in terms of rendering, so really it does a quite nice job now of rendering full HTML web pages, which this is. And you can pinch zoom, fast and responsive. Good typography in Windows Phone as well, so besides the fact that this has a very high PPI display, they just do a really nice job with the typefaces to keep things looking smooth. Now let's test out a YouTube video. Now no Flash player here, so it's playing the HTML5 version. This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and today we're going to look at the LG Optimus G Pro on AT&T. A lot of words to say. Really nice screen, so very enjoyable for video playback. And to test some more video playback, we have a 1080p movie trailer here. We'll play. Super zingy greens there, courtesy of AMOLED display.
My dear Frodo, you asked me once if I had told you everything.
And we're at half volume. We'll bring it up to 2/3 volume.
Well, I can honestly say I have told you the truth. I may not have told you.
Looks beautiful, doesn't it? It's a very nice screen.
I'm looking for someone.
And audio quality, it's not bad.
I can't just go running off into the blue. I am a Baggins. Wait!
So how about gaming? You know, we've got that whole Xbox integration experience here and some pretty high quality games available. We're going to test out Modern Combat 4 and see how that does. That's a pretty demanding game. That's a 1 gig download. And you can download most games as demos or trials first to try them out to see if you actually really like them, which is a nice thing. So here we are in Modern Combat 4, Gameloft title. Plays smoothly enough.
Holy shit! What the hell is this? Move! What's the cover fire? What? Oh! Shit!
And plays just fine. So there it is, good for gaming too. The phone has a 2000 milliamp battery that's sealed inside. This is not an openable case. This is unibody polycarbonate right here. And That's not a huge capacity battery, but nonetheless, actually, we've had no trouble making it through a full day on a charge. That's from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night. So good battery life here, even using LTE for browsing the web, getting some push email, streaming some video, that kind of thing. A little bit of game playing. If you're going to play a lot of 3D games, then expect to have to charge a little bit more often. But so far, so good. Honestly, it's a really nice phone, and for 99 bucks on Verizon Wireless, especially if you're ready to try something new, you've been there, done that with the iPhone, Android, you do the same thing, or maybe not your cup of tea. Really, really nice phone, and a little bit lighter than the Lumia 922. So for those of you who found that 6.5 ounce phone too heavy, this guy, who measures 6 ounces on our digital scale, supposed to be 5.6 ounces, is a bit lighter on the pocket, doesn't drag your pants down, shall we say. Still a handful, even though it's a 4.5-inch phone, it is not petite, but overall, really, really nice work from Nokia and Windows. So that's the Nokia Lumia 928, available now on Verizon Wireless for only $99 to compete with the AT&T 920, priced the same. And certainly, I'd have to say that this one gives the HTC 8X a run for its money and is likely the best Windows phone available on Verizon Wireless. Visit Mobile Tech Review for our full written review of this phone, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.